Today is the deadline to get your tax return out if you filed for an extension, but your next tax return could be even tougher to file. We've got the Democrats pushing for increased IRS snooping. Yes, snooping. With me now, National Taxpayers Union Executive Vice President Brandon Arnold. Brandon, always great to see you. I want to talk about this because it feels to me like they're going after petty crimes here. There's bigger fish to fry. So I see that. And then I think about the banks and I think, well, they're going to have more pressure on them. They're going to have to cooperate. This is going to become, a much bigger issue here. And then the third thing I think is, wow, Big Brother's getting a lot bigger.
Yeah, a lot to unpack there, and you're absolutely right on all of those points. We can only be so sympathetic for the largest banks in the country, but you got to think there are a lot of small credit unions, a lot of small community banks that service their neighborhoods that are going to be saddled with these reporting requirements. They have to pass along information from their customers to the IRS, essentially serving as an extension of the IRS. That's very problematic and very costly for these small banks. And that's not even talking about the taxpayers, the consumers that will be affected by this. If they're really serious about going after people making millions of dollars in the largest corporations on the planet, why do they need to have a threshold that starts at just $600? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's interesting to me, as we try to sort of unpack what's happening here, you think about it a little bit more and you think to yourself, the big banks, of course, they don't want to get involved in this. They don't want to have to deal with the minutia, and they don't also want to, they've got their hands tied as it is. We've been talking about supply chain problems, labor problems, all of these things happening to make business more difficult for companies right now. And when it comes to the supply chain, you've got the White House saying, no FedEx, no UPS, you need to work harder. You need to go 24/7. I'm going to tie your hands behind your back and tell you to go as hard as you can. I mean, it's just, it doesn't make sense.
No, and what we're trying to do here is saddle our companies with the third highest corporate tax rate on the planet. That's what the Biden administration wants to do. That's what congressional Democrats want to do right now. We're making these companies less competitive with their global competitors. At the same time, we're extracting money from them at a time that the economy is very, very tenuous right now. The recovery is moving at a much slower pace than we'd like to see it. We're not back in 2019. We're not in a pre-pandemic phase yet. To get there, I don't think we should be raising $2 trillion on taxes on the backs of our individual taxpayers and our corporations and our small businesses. That's a huge problem. It's going to make it more difficult for them to find labor, to reward the people that are working there, everyday Americans that would like to see a raise to offset some of the costs of inflation and other problems. It's just going to make it tougher.
Yeah, and you talk about this overreach of the IRS now bringing big business into it. And I think to myself, I don't even want to have Alexa in my house because I don't want Amazon listening to what's going on. Some people have a real problem with that overreach and essentially with being controlled by the government.
Yeah, we have a constitution for a reason, right? It's to protect our liberties, to protect us against government snooping. And they don't seem to be paying attention to it right here.
Yeah. It's interesting. We're going to have to follow it, see how far they get with it. I mean, I'm curious if you think that this is one of those things. If you heard Karl Rove before, there's a whole list of things they have to get done. So I wonder if in some ways this is kind of dead on arrival.
I wouldn't say it's dead on arrival. Anything is possible. They're working feverishly behind closed doors right now. They need to hear from their constituents. They need to hear from everyday people that say, I don't want to be snooped on. I don't want a supersized IRS with double the number of federal agents. I don't want an IRS that can assess penalties going all the way back to 2001, 20 years ago. That's in the bill right now. These proposals need to be removed. I mean, the whole bill needs to be killed, let's be honest. But they at least need to recognize the impact that this would have on everyday Americans, and I don't think they get it.
Brandon Arnold, thanks for your insight tonight.
Thank you.